bulldozer busts the line, and we're like vehicle number 5 in line on the start of this train of vehicles. There's like hundreds of vehicles behind us, and immediately, dude, mortar, small arms fire. And it's like that vehicle or that building over there. It's like dumping on it. It's that building over there, dumping on it. Taking fire from, dude, confusing as fuck.
It's
the
everywhere.
best way. Like, dude, like there's no way to describe it. Like, it's just, there's so much. There's so many places. And like, you cannot point them all out. And I remember it being so frustrating because like, dude, it was just everywhere. It's like, dude, where aren't we getting shot from? You know? And dude, we start driving, we get close to this village where we're supposed to, get around to, and all the vehicles stop. Like, why are we stopped? What's going on? Hey, Terp, go run over to the general's car and ask him why to stop. He gets out, goes over to the general car, and he's like, we are doing tea time. We're like, no, we're not. Like, we're not doing tea time. He's like, we're doing tea time. And I'm like, all right, let's grab MRE. We're doing tea time. Nobody's going anywhere. And dude, like, we stopped. We're eating MREs in our Mat V's, and you're seeing dudes kind of like running around their vehicles. I'm like eating my mac and cheese or whatever, and I see like, in the front of our vehicle, 25 yards in front of us, there's guys eating. Something slams in the ground. I'm like, RPG. These dudes like look over, go back to drinking their chai, man. And it's just like,
are you fucking serious?
dude, it was insane. It was absolute madness.
Fucking tea time.
Dude, tea
Holy
time,
shit.
bro. Gotta have your chai.
They're shooting RPGs at you.
Dude, I'm not joking. This RPG probably landed like 15 to 20 feet from where they're like huddled up. And it's literally like maybe scoot towards the tire a little bit and then sipping their tea, man.
Then chill out, right?
So, yeah.
Wow.
So out of nowhere, General and a couple other vehicles start like peeling off. One of our vehicles follows them. And the way that this village is located, there's like a main road that cuts. There's a village, and then there's this kind of like large hill behind them. And that's where the forward line of troops was. Like, it kind of curved, right? Kind of curved around. Forward line of troops was there, and they were going to kind of overwatch as we were pushing around this village. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that kind of draw a picture? So the general started going towards this main road that led towards this village. One of our vehicles followed it. They got up a little ways with maybe 10 or 20 other vehicles. And I think it's French intel were on the hilltop, and they called my OIC. It's like, hey, there's a V-bid moving towards the convoy that's currently just on the road to the village. And my OIC's like, hey, like, I don't know what the general's doing. He's kind of like doing his own thing right now. Like, hey, bring it back, reconsolidate, and we're all going to push in together, And our vehicle was like, all right, check. They whip around, a couple other vehicles follow them, and my vehicle is the frontmost element covering down on the section when they, like, ready to receive them when they come in. Does that make sense? So our guns pointed towards the village where the supposed V-bid was coming to. And we knew that there was some, like, they kind of put us in a weird position because we knew there were some friendly vehicles still that might still come back, right? We don't know how many the general took exactly. So we're like, all right, our vehicle came back, turned around, kind of like right next to us. And I'm looking down at my little tablet, and I'm like checking out the layout, and I'm trying to figure out what the road that the French are saying that this V-bid's coming from. I'm looking down, and my new guy's like, car on the road. I like click up, 800 yards. Like, what? Is that pet? Is that a pet? Is that a car? Do we have cars? 700 yards. I start seeing smoke behind the car, billowing out. 500 yards. I'm like, dude, I think that's the V-bid. And you can see it, man, and it looks like something from Mad Max. It's just like this sedan that's plated up. It's got a small window, armored window, maybe 2 feet by 1 foot. And it is just freaking plowing right towards my vehicle and our other vehicle here. 400 yards. Tim lighted up. All our vehicles. And I'm seeing rounds skip and hitting it. I'm seeing rounds pinging off the roof of it. I see a round hit the glass, shatter it. And this vehicle, 200 yards. And I think back to that meeting with the SAS dudes. Fucking run, mate, right? And as soon as I thought that, I hear brake contact on comms, immediately followed by back right. We turn our vehicles around, dude. Gunner's still shooting. As we're turning, there's 2 light-skinned vehicles. One's a medic truck right behind us. We're driving away from it. I see the vehicle, V-bid, 100 yards, 75, and there's people all over the ground. Like, there's people running away from this thing. And then 50 yards, maybe inside, clacks off, goes I order. And I see 8 people just vaporized, man. Missed it, gone. Nothing. See a hand fly over the front of our vehicles, you know. And I remember like thinking, whew, we're okay. And I was like, what? And then you look around and you hear 1 up, 2 up, 3 up, 4 up. It's like, we're taking the hill. So follow Vic 4, we're gonna take this hill. We pull up to this hilltop, and what are all the Peshmerga doing? What's everybody do? They're all running away. Like, everybody is running back to the flot. And tanks peeling off out of there, and we're like, we're gonna hold the hill. And so we post up, we get a little bit of cover. There's another one. I hear behind me. There's another one behind us. Like, how close? How close? Like, where is it? And then Gunner's like, I got it. I see it. And then you hear our guns, all 4 vehicles going off. And he's like, I hear the gunner in the turret. He's like, it looks like it's trying to get cover behind a berm. He's like, he might be stuck. And then number 2 goes off. And when that happened, you see people out in the field that were running away, like, look back. They saw us shooting. They're like, all right. And they all came charging back. Bulldozer comes back, starts putting up berms, man. And dudes start, like, digging in. And we dismount. We're kind of getting the lay of the land. Snipers located right on the side of our map B, kind of hunched down, looking at the village. Another vehicle comes ripping out, man. Same
Holy
road.
Shit.
Dude, I mean, these guys were
armed to the teeth,
blowing themselves up to kill us. How crazy is that? Right? Like, do you ever think, like, how many of us are convicted enough to do something and literally kill yourself to kill somebody else? You ever think about how freaking much dedication that takes?
I used to think about it all the time. and it just shows you how dedicated that
Yeah.
enemy is. Way more dedicated.
Yes.
I mean,
Absolutely. And they, we'd go into their caves and you'd find antipsychotic medication, man. Like these guys had been in these caves so long that they were taking antipsychosis meds, right? Because they'd been living in a cave in the dark. It's like, do you know somebody? Are you dedicated enough to do something so much that you're willing to go crazy for it? Wow, that's an enemy, that's something you need to be careful of when you go to fight them. So yeah, man, comes around, back of the line, clacks himself off on, I think it ended up being a father and his two sons, in a vehicle kind of coming out to the flot or wherever we were. So that's 3. Another one came from behind. Luckily, the Pesh got him. And I think in total that night, we had like 5 V-bids coming down on our position. That was just a start. And so, no air. No air assets at the time. They were locked up with a tick. And it was starting to get very dark. My OAC calls me over. It's like, hey man, having trouble with SATCOM. Comms guy's trying to work it too. He's like, I just heard a 9-line come out. I said, okay. And he gave me, he's like, they read off, they'll sometimes, depending on the SOP, some people like doing, some don't, but it doesn't really matter. They read off his last initial and his last 3. And, you hear the F and you're thinking, how many, like, okay, it could be him, could be him, could be him. Like, who was it? Like, well, okay, the 9-line, what's the word? And he's like, expectant. And for the viewers that don't know what happens when somebody's called in expectant, it means essentially you're not expecting them to survive. That's my platoon. And so like, we're gonna hang out here the night. We're gonna hold this spot all night, and then and we need more ammo. We need more water. Like we'll ride back, we'll refit, and then we'll come back out. And so stayed up all night long. Pucker level 5,000, alone and afraid. And sun started coming up, driving back, man. You're driving down the road and you're kind of like looking out the window thinking, what just what happened? You're kind of like, we're not back yet, but that was not what I expected. Like, I felt like it would be a lot more organized than that. You expect it to be. But, dude, the enemy has a say.
Yep.
The enemy always has a say.